And now to our discussion segment, the Nigerian Labour Congress has distanced itself from the 500,000 naira being canvassed as the new minimum wage. The NLC noted that it has yet to adopt a position on an amount to be presented to the tripartite committee on the national minimum wage charge with fixing a new minimum wage for workers. According to the NLC President George, the figures being speculated are being collated at the level of the states and should be disregarded, as the NLC as a body has yet to adopt a common presentation on the new minimum wage. He, however, explained that that Labour will be guided in adopting a new minimum wage based on economic parameters, which takes into account the current cost of living at the states, as well as the exchange rate. As the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar. In light of this, our conversation today will center on call for a new national minimum wage amidst rising inflation. Our guest is Shamsuddin Adidapo Adiroju, program coordinator. Is it Tidal, Mr. Adipoju? Tidal initiator. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much for having me once again, sir.
Well, we've seen, based on the minimum wage proposed by the Trade Union Congress for 477,000, do you think it captures the current economic reality? Though the NLC is saying that this is not actually the proposed amount that they are still consulting. But do you think amount of that magnitude captures the new minimum wage that workers are aspiring for?
Thank you very much, our moderator, and good afternoon once again, our viewers. Let me begin by establishing the fact that all Nigerians know that we are in a perilous moment at the moment, and it's just important that we look at what our current minimum wage, speaks. But in all honesty, in my opinion, I would say that I would advise the TUC to look at it again.
And NLC
I mean the NLC and TUC to look at it again because of the following factors that I'll be reeling out. Number one is we need to understand the true situations or true number of individuals that are working in the formal sector in Nigeria, vis-a-vis the people that are in the informal sector, and also what our unemployment indices is going to. If by any means the wages are proposed and the government, accede, their requests, it's just important that we know that as Nigerians, all of us go to the same market. So if this minimum wage is accepted, both the workers in the formal sector, the people in the informal sector, and even the unemployed individuals will go to the same market. And what that does is that it will increase the cost of purchasing essential items, which will, at the end of the day, bring a rise to inflation in Nigeria. So that's factor one. The other factor is, if you look at the variation of payment of even the current minimum wage that we have in Nigeria by various state governments. I can remember that the last time it was reviewed from 18,000 to 30,000. How many state governments are currently paying this amount of money? Now, bringing it to this very high amount of...
but they have more money. They should pay.
Yeah, I really concur to that because of the removal of subsidy and a lot increase in the allocation given to them. It's just important that they pay, the agreed minimum wage. But my proposition is, if this 447,000 naira, as proposed by the labor unions, if it is accepted, what happens to other people that are not categorized in the net of the workers? How do we also take care of their demand? What is going to be the market reaction to this? And essentially, what is going to be the inflation rate at the end of the day. So my submission is, I don't think it is in concurrence with the economic reality of the country. I just feel that both the government and all the concerned individuals should sit just like the way they've actually started doing to review this.
If we're to consider the current reality of things, the rising cost of living and other factors, just as you mentioned, there are people that are not civil servants and things like that. But we also have a multiplier effect when these people tend to access their wage and things like that. So at this point, if we should consider the present reality of things, what do you think should be an advisable minimum wage at this point in time?
Thank you very much for this. I think we should rather consider discussing living wage than minimum wage in quotes. And I could remember in the twilight of the campaign of this present administration, there are some initiatives that our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised, and that is the institutionalization of the commodity board to regulate prices of goods and services in Nigeria, and also the provision of a credit system that can actually allow people access and get, some basic things for themselves. I think it's just important that the solution to this current reality is to look at how do we raise the potential purchasing power of individuals. If we have the possibility of putting forward a price control mechanism of goods and services that are essential.
Is it possible to put a price control mechanism? I thought that everything is based on the law of demand and supply. Market forces should allow to come in and play.
Yes, I agree that market forces, dictate the demand and supply. But I could remember that government creates an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, and if they can look at the institutionalization of this commodity board, increase production really by tackling the insecurity issues in the country, and probably provide incentives for producers, retailers, marketers that are dealing with essential goods and services to access. I want to believe that things is really going to drop, and if things drop, the purchasing power of individuals will increase, and then we can now begin to talk about how do we because honestly, even if the minimum wage is jacked up to ₦1 million and this root cause of rise in inflation is not tackled, then we are not really going anywhere, because
so you are saying that it won't have the desired
results. Yes,
results or multiply impact.
Yes, it will not. It will not. And the best thing that we need to do.
Well, based on the demand and supply, the best way to tackle this is to have more supply than demand.
Yeah,
you flood the market with goods and services, and that's it.
So the demand for goods and services is also a function of what people can actually put in their pockets to be able to purchase essential things. I think one of the reasons why we are also having this issue is because of over-dependence on imported goods and services and dollarization of our economy. And I'm happy that the government is considering, joining BRICS to see how we can exchange our most valued asset, which is oil, in Naira.
Now, what's the role of the private sector to meet up this demand?
Well, the role of the private sector is also to see how they can, jack up the wage of their staff. Also see how we can also patronize Nigerian-made raw materials for our production. If these are done, everything that we're actually trying to do is actually going to, come down. I was talking to somebody this afternoon. The person is actually applying for a school in Nigeria, and they are demanding stuff that are meant for foreign institutions. This is one of the effects of over-reliance on foreign validation for our activities. If you are able to come back home, increase production, reduce the over-dependence on dollars, increase the security nature of our country, provide incentive for people that are responsible for production, and most importantly, institutionalize the commodity board. I believe that things are going to begin to come to shape in no time.
Okay, thank you very much, Shamsuddin Adedapo Aderoju. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.